Hello, pilots, and welcome back to Season 1 of Out of Art Gaming's Flight Academy. Today we have Game 7 of this round-robin single-ship tournament. As ever, the tournament rules are in the description below, but for this matchup, I am joined by...
Hello there, it's Ben. Glad to be back on the channel, commentating.
Hey Ben, welcome back. We always enjoy having you on the channel, and we have an interesting game for you to have a look at with us today, with one of your favourite pilots, actually, Fen Rao on the board, I see.
Yes, well, I'd probably say he's my favourite. Yeah, the amount of times I've thrown him.
Yeah, I think I've flown against you using him several times in the past. But let's have a look and see what we have on the list. So we do have Quinn and Ducan on the channel. I'm going to go through Quinn so that you can talk about your favourite Fen. But as we've seen before, guys, we've got Quinn flying Kanan Jarrus in the Hawk 290 with Predictive Shot, Maul, Shield Upgrade, and the Mouldy Crow title. And what's Ducan flying?
So Ducan is flying Mr. Fen Rao. Interesting choice. He decided to go to Daredevil instead of the probably more usual Fearless. However, Daredevil will put him in a lot more interesting positions you wouldn't normally expect. So, yeah, great choice. And for a bit more range 3, maybe control, he's bringing some ion torpedoes.
I mean, I think we had this discussion before as to whether ion torpedoes was for that reason or just more a case of, well, there ain't really much else you can put on Fen when you give him a talent, really.
Probably a bit of both, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I can imagine it could be good for a bit of ball control, try and state where your enemy's going to be. But again, you wouldn't be bothered if you didn't use it.
You do get to mitigate the range 3 bonus when you fire, so it's more likely to land a shot than as opposed to a primary when you give your defender an extra dice at range 3. Yeah.
Now, what do you think of the choice of Daredevil rather than Fearless? Again, we've mentioned that it gives that added maneuverability and the boost there, but is it something you would normally go for?
I mean, it's a tricky choice. There's reasons for both. My personal favourite would be to go for Fearless because it's kind of what Fen's all about. Fen's just aggressive, get in there and punch. And when you get him at range 1, you really want to make it count. And Fearless really does help to make that shot count.
Yeah, it really does, especially with Fen's inbuilt ability of being at range 1 and rolling an extra dice regardless of whether you're shooting or defending. It really does double down on him and it makes him incredibly frustrating to fly against. But what I do like about Fen with Fearless as well is that it doesn't have to be used on a primary attack, his ability. It can actually be used on secondary weapons as well. So if you've got a Procket or an APT on there, you're getting an extra dice on that. And let me tell you, that is scary.
Yeah. Interesting 2-turn from Ducan here.
Yeah. It is an interesting one, especially considering Quinn actually did a full stop. So the potential for that being a little bit of a miss.
So we're seeing a Daredevil here.
Yeah.
So that's a good use of Daredevil. And Duncan's making sure that Fen stays at range 1 because the main thing I find with flying Fen a lot is range 2 is really where he goes pop.
Yeah.
You can stay at range 1, even if you're not getting shots, just try and keep in that range 1 bubble. The survivability with Fen Rao goes through the roof.
Yeah. And that Daredevil seemed to have paid off there because that's 2 shields off of Kanan. But I know what you mean. That range 2 bubble, there's no bonuses for Fen. He doesn't get the range 3 defense.
He just becomes a normal ship.
Yeah. And that's a scary prospect for something that is actually quite fragile, only having 4 hulls. So 1 crit and it's almost night-night for Fen sometimes.
Yeah, Fen will reward you if you're good at range control.
Yeah.
Good Fen Rao players will stick into range 1 or keep at range 3 where possible.
I mean, luckily he's got the dial to be able to get around the board really quickly. Obviously, he's got all the 2s of blue, but he could also then zoom up quickly. Obviously, in a single ship tournament, I think he does seem like I almost want to say a bit of an obvious choice, but I also think that he's not, in a way, the best choice in a single ship tournament, because I think he does work better when he's got something supporting him and distracting your opponent.
Yeah.
So, although now he's
nice.
That is really nice. A good dance around there.
He really wants to get away from the turret, because the turret will actually turn off Fenn's Concordia face-off ability.
Yeah, but luckily I believe the turret is facing backwards at the moment from what I can see there. So Ducan has flown that quite well and lucked out there.
2 damage, yeah.
Oh, he's in a really strong position now. So that's half points.
However, you can see the Hawk potentially 0-stopping.
Yes.
And a lot of people forget about that 0-stop.
Yeah, and there is that 0-stop. Dangerous, so dangerous. But whilst we're waiting for Ducan to move Fenn up, don't forget, if you do enjoy what we're doing here at Out of Arc Gaming, you can support us on Patreon by clicking the link in the description below. Just like our latest Patreon supporter, Chris X-Win Tavern Wars Greigel. And I do apologise if I pronounced your surname wrong there. But again, thank you very much for supporting us, Chris. We do very much appreciate it. And you can join Chris and the other patrons by clicking the link in the description below.
Oh, and Fenn has just landed on an asteroid and taken a damage.
Oh, that is...
Oh, dear.
And he's going to be going back over it again next turn
as well.
He
needs his Concordia to help him out here. Oh, that's not a good roll there.
Or Quinn to really, really shoot poorly.
It's not one you want to see when you've got that target in front of you. And Fenn survived it.
I think Ducan lucked out there despite landing on the obstacle.
However, he's going to have to go around it again.
Yeah. And the thing is, does he go to the left to try and get back around, or go to the right and come back behind Quinn?
I would more like... I would probably try and use that asteroid for a bit of cover.
Yeah.
You're not getting any actions or anything.
Get out, come back round and reposition. Yeah, I know what you mean.
I love Quinn's choice of taking a Hawk.
I mean, it's
so fun.
It's quintessential Quinn. You know that if he's going to be in any form of tournament, he's going to do something different, because his knowledge of the cards and what they can do and how they interact is incredible. He doesn't, luckily no damage there for Ducan, he doesn't always manage to pull it off, but when he does, it is insane. I mean, sticking Maul on Kanan here to basically say, well, I'm going to spend a force and you're going to shoot 1 less dice.
Yeah.
It was a great idea in single ship. It just works perfectly.
Yeah. I think Kanan's certainly very effective 1v1 against multiple ships. You can only do that so many times.
Yeah.
But yeah, against one-on-one, you're basically winning the damage race. If you're taking a dice off your opponent and you've got a 3 dice primary front and a 2 dice turret.
Yeah. And look, there was 2 damage thrown out by Ducan, but Quinn natural evades.
So Duncan's got a good position now.
Yeah.
Now that he's off that rock for the next turn.
And plenty of evades. Yeah, he can come in quite nicely there, even if, well, Quinn can't 0-stop because he's stressed. So I can imagine Quinn would be doing a 1 forward or a 1 bank, so Ducan can get right in there.
So this is where if you're flying against Fenn, you'd probably want to try and get as much distance away from Fenn as possible, because you don't want Fenn to get in your range 1. You want to try and catch him at range 2.
Which I think is difficult for the Hawk, because it's
yeah,
not the
problem
fastest
is
ship.
The Hawk is not fast enough to get the distance.
Yeah.
And which way is his turret pointing?
It's currently pointing
Right.
at Fen.
Oh, so he's not going to be able to dodge that.
No, but I mean, I think that's already range 1, and he's not in Kanan's front arc. So
I would say focus and barrel to the left to give him more options for the next turn.
yeah,
He's right next to that asteroid.
that
Would give him loads of options to turn either left, right, disengage.
Yeah.
However, he's staying there.
Looks like he said that he's got the hard one though. So
he does.
Will he need that hard one?
What can you do here? Oh, that's a great roll.
That's a great roll. Spend that focus. Well, that's a
doing fun things.
That's a dead Quinn.
Wow.
And that's game there.
What excellent result for Ducan there.
Yeah, excellent final round of shooting there from Ducan. Really made up for some of those slightly lackluster dice earlier, but that was a great game.
The problem is, yes, you can take one dice away, but Fenn's like, well, okay, well, I'll just roll 4 dice instead of 5.
Indeed. Well, guys, what another great game there. Thank you very much, Ben, for coming in and joining us for that.
Yeah, thank you. Pleasure.
And guys, just want to say, don't forget, if you do like what we're doing here at Out of Arc Gaming, don't forget we have the Patreon in the link in the description below. Please don't forget to like the video, subscribe to the channel. And as this is our last video before Christmas, just want to say we hope you all have a very happy holiday, and however you celebrate it, have a great time. Thank you very much for watching, and we'll see you next time.